Hello, Nebraska CPAs. Hey, look, it was not long ago that I had the privilege of being there and we were going to do a session on AI. However, there were some technical issues and technical challenges. And so it occurred to me, perhaps maybe you need an opportunity to be able to see this firsthand. So in this quick, brief presentation, we're going to go through some of the AI options that we talked about so you can actually see a live demonstration. So bear with me as I share my screen. Now, the first AI that we want to talk about is an AI called perplexity. And here's the thing. Everybody, or most everybody, has heard about ChatGPT, but Perplexity is an AI application that is current, aka up to date, and number two, probably the most important part of it is Perplexity gives you citations. Now, the most important thing in any AI that we use is asking the right question. So let me do some practical questions. What are, let's say, 5 practical applications for using AI in a CPA firm? Now, we're going to start simple and see where this takes us. You will notice while you see this on the screen, you see sources. It gives you the sources as to where these come from so that if you want to look at it, you can see the source from which it took place. For example, number 5 is tax compliance. AI assist with automating complex tax compliance questions. And when we look at it, what it does is it takes us to an article. I'm trying to look for the date, but this is from Thomson Reuters, and it talks about how accounting firms are using AI and what the big 8 firms are using AI for, and how smaller firms can use AI. Now, the point to this becomes Perplexity gives you answers to questions, which is functionally where AI is coming from. So let's refine this a bit. Let's say, for example, I want to know Now, what I ask is I want to know specific AI applications that we can use today. Now, here's the interesting thing. With Perplexity, this is not the only solution, by the way, but with Perplexity, what happens is it's now starting to move forward, like Gridlex Sky. This AI accounting software uses or it makes financial processes more efficient. It can automate aspects of the financial process. Now, again, the point becomes this gives you the opportunity to really start looking deeply. And maybe another question is, let's say, I'm going to try this. By the way, I can't talk and type at the same time, so just kind of hang with me. All right, so I'm a CPA and I want to be a trusted advisor to my clients. What AI tools can I use that could be presented in a conference to my clients? Now we start really boring down into types of AI specific things that could be used that might be beneficial to clients. So I'm going to take this one step further in this example, and I'm going to ask the question, I want to create a I want to create a presentation to my clients about how AI can benefit their organization. Write me a captivating email announcing the program and what they will gain from participating. Now, this is interesting because, again, from an AI perspective, not only has AI given you the specific tools and the applications, but now if you were wanting to market this to your client base because you're a trusted resource, then here's the email. Hey, I am thrilled to announce the upcoming program that will revolutionize the way you approach business operations. In our upcoming conference, we'll delve into the transformative potential of artificial intelligence and its profound impact on the accounting industry. By participating in the program, you'll gain valuable insights into how AI can benefit your organization, including, and of course, it talks about personal marketing, generative AI, efficiency and productivity, competitive advantages, revolutionizing the accounting process. Now, before we go to the next iteration of this or to a different AI, the point that I think you can see is within the short period of time that this has actually taken place, which was kind of the idea with a live presentation just about a month ago, you can see how quickly you can be responsive to the marketplace. And one thing I promise you is, in addition to, of course, year-end tax planning, which everybody's interested in, if you became the trusted advisor that was offering the program about how AI can benefit them, that makes your relationship with your customer all that much more significant. Now, I'm going to go back because remember, this is perplexity. But I want to go back and I'm going to just copy this particular prompt and let's go to Chat GPT. And in Chat GPT, I'm going to type in exactly the same thing. Okay. And let's see what difference we might get. Now, Chat GPT is probably now the de facto place where people are going to normally go because everybody's heard of it to really look for answers to questions. Notice, however, as Chat GPT is doing its magic, it is not giving you citations. So since it's not giving you citations, one of the things that I personally like is the fact that Perplexity gives me that so I can go back and look at it. And by the way, you will notice toward the end here, it says, if you're looking to delve deeper, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you know, feel free to reach out. Chat GPT can be programmed to be from you. So in my Chat GPT platform, it is always coming with a call to action at the end. But let's quickly look at, it's talking about automated data, entry and reconciliation, financial forecasting, tax preparation, fraud detection. Notice here, I think this is interesting on fraud detection, tools like MindBridge AI Auditor looks at financial transactions to detect abnormalities that could give some indication that maybe there's a fraud there. And so, and again, in this particular case, not only is it talking about what it can do, it is giving you AI applications that can potentially help you help your customer. And let me say this, even if you don't know a lot about it, promise this, you could literally take just one day and just go down the rabbit hole of what can be done with AI. And literally you could create an amazing program that you offer to your clients. It could be a webinar if you choose, like we're doing here, or it could be a live presentation. But the reality is, once you get engaged with this, you become the trusted advisor. Now, remember here in Perplexity, we ask it to give us a marketing email. So I'm going to, once again, I'm just going to copy exactly the same thing, but I'm going into ChatGPT and I'm going to put in exactly the same prompt, and let's see what kind of email comes out. Now, ChatGPT tends to write things in a way that is more, it's a little bit more fun to read. It's a little more engaging. Perplexity is almost a bit more analytic, whereas ChatGPT can give you the analytics you need, but it's just more engaging. So in this particular case, if given the two, I probably would come into ChatGPT and use the material from ChatGPT. By the way, you know, I like it at the end. This presentation is not just an event, it's a stepping stone toward the future of your business. Let's embark on this transformative journey together. If you're curious about how AI can specifically benefit your organization or considering expert guidance in this domain, don't hesitate to connect. Your path to innovation starts here. Wow, what a great marketing message. If you happen to be in the public practice of accountancy and you want to expand your business to add consultation, because it is truly new and it's really interesting. Now, I'm going to go over here and we're going to do one other message. And here's what I want to do with this. And I just want you to see the power of it. Write me a blog article on how AI is being used in a transformative way. Now, I want you to notice something. I misspelled transformative because I can't speak in type, and accounting. It doesn't make a difference. It's misspelled. Who cares? AI recognizes what the word is supposed to be and will make it work. Make this blog article captivating, fun, and something that a prospective client would want to read. Okay, now write me a blog article on how AI is being used in a transformative way with accounting firms in their consultation with clients. Make this blog article captivating, fun, and something that a prospective client would want to read with a compelling closing, encouraging them to attend the upcoming seminar. That's the question. We're going to let it do its thing. And boom, there we go. Now we've got a great title. And the article is functionally being written for you. Okay, now we're going to take this so that you can see some other AI applications. Now, let me say this, while this is being written, this is the future of creating content quickly. And not that You don't need to read it, you do, and you need to agree with it, and you need to make sure that you're comfortable with it. But the days of sitting down and just mindlessly wondering, what am I going to write? I've got a writer's block. What's going to take place? How am I going to get this communicated? I've got everything else in the world that needs to be done. You don't need to do that. You give it the prompt, it's going to begin the process to move this forward. Now, I want you to notice, by the way, at the bottom, for more insights, discussions, or to engage with a leading voice in ethics and AI, reach out to Chuck Gallagher. Okay, now let me stop with that for just a second and say, remember, I said ChatGPT can be programmed to represent you. So in this case, it automatically at the end is going to create a call to action. Now, I'm going to go here and I'm going to copy the entire article, and I'm going to take it into another application. Now, this application is called Quillbot. Quillbot. What is Quillbot? Well, Quillbot is a paraphraser. So first thing let me do is let me go here and paste the content in. Now, this is the content that was written from ChatGPT. I'm going to go in a couple of places. Let me see. Well, I don't need to bold that. I'm just making sure that the spacing is right. That's one thing Quillbot is not particularly good at sometimes, as is spacing. So we'll make sure that the spacing is right. And there is the article that ChatGPT wrote. Now, let's say, for example, that you wanted to make this more fluent. Fluent ensures the text is readable and free of errors, or you wanted it formal, more sophisticated, done in a more professional way. Could be more academic, scholarly. You could expand it, you could shorten it, you could make it more creative, okay? So pick what you want. I'm going to say creative, and we're going to take what ChatGPT wrote and we'll paraphrase it. Now, paraphrasing is basically taking your content and then changing it. You will notice here that all of the orange is what is paraphrased. By the way, it started at 550 words and paraphrased is now at 577 words. Okay, why would you use a paraphraser? Well, perhaps something has been written and it's very academic, or it just doesn't have that feel that you want representing your organization. A paraphraser gives you the ability to do that. Now, for purposes of our example, I'm going to copy this. And now I'm going into another application called Grammarly. Now, by the way, Grammarly has been around for a long time. It is not that Grammarly is new. It does, however, have new AI features. So let's go, and we're going to go here to our article. And let's say this is going, the goal is business. It's to inform. The knowledge base is general. The formality is neutral. So we're going to say done. And basically what we're doing here is, first, Grammarly is looking at this and making suggestions for grammatic changes. So for example, it says, let's take a look at how artificial intelligence. Grammarly's suggestion is, let's look at, because Grammarly likes to eliminate unnecessary words. Now I'm going to move through here, and we're going to look at some of the changes. Many of these I'm automatically going to make because of our interest in time. Notice it says here, for clients and accounting firms alike, this is the future that AI is bringing about. It wants to say, for clients and accounting firms alike, this is the future AI brings. Interesting. Okay, I will rewrite it for clarity. I like that. It will correct verbs, if it will correct punctuation if it's inappropriate. It might take a sentence and say, let's rephrase that sentence. So I'm moving through these fairly significantly. Differences can have a major, it likes a significant. Again, because I'm accustomed to this, I'm use a great majority of the changes they make. I do notice here that there was a change in space. So we'll go through the process. I am, again, accepting most of these. And we are seeing where this takes us. Now, again, most of the time what I find with Grammarly is I like the way that it brings things into first person. It's really good at that. And it helps make sure that we don't have grammatic mistakes, or that if something is unclear, it will rewrite it for clarity. It does, however, hate the word this. I don't know exactly why, but it does. That's just one of the weird things about it. So we're about to the end. We're moving through the process. Again, I am pretty quick to just accept some of the changes that they make because I've used it enough that I have become comfortable with the parameters that it gives. Now, we've completed, think about how this happened. First, we started with perplexity to begin with. No, I take that back. We did start with perplexity, but in this particular case, we asked ChatGPT to write us a blog article that encouraged people to become part of the program that was going to take place. Now, after we finish that, I'm in the paid version of Grammarly. I want to check it for plagiarism because I want to make sure that if I have been using artificial intelligence, that I am not in a place where something has been plagiarized. Now, you'll notice at this point in time, it says, looks like your text is 100% original. There is no matching text in the database. So if we look at this, we literally could have the future of consulting, how AI is transforming the accounting industry. The merging of accounting with artificial intelligence is a game changer in the dynamic corporate landscape. On this first leg of our tour, let's look at how artificial intelligence changes how accounting firms provide advisory service and how numbers interact with neurons in a fascinating dance of data decision making. Now, that's pretty cool writing. And keep in mind, from the time we ask it to write the article to now going through it, correcting the grammar, rewriting it more creatively, and checking it for plagiarism, we have spent 5 minutes. So if you're sitting there thinking about, well, how can I use this from a marketing perspective? One of the things that is true, and keep in mind, while you're watching this, this is 2023. Everything is changing in a dramatic fashion. But the reality of it is, from a marketing perspective, people that embrace this will be able to create content quicker. And the quicker you create content, the faster that content gets analyzed by the way, artificial intelligence on Google and YouTube and Bing and all of the other places that are out there. And content is king. The place that has more content and is being open to what the customer is looking for and information will win. This content would logically be placed as a blog on your website. It would logically be placed as an article from you or your firm on LinkedIn. And if you're doing this on a regular basis, this is how you gain followers and or prospective clients. Now, let me switch for a moment. In fact, I'm going to do something really quick here. I'm going to make a copy of this, but let's switch for a moment. And I am going into a program called Midjourney. It creates art. And I went in at 11:10 a.m. this morning, and I typed in this, Nebraska in the early winter on a chilly morning after a storm, hyper-realistic 16:9. And these are the images that were created. Now, keep in mind, I can create any image that I want. So if I came in and decided that, let's see, I want to create an image. Let's think about this for a second. Image of now, what I ask is Omaha, Nebraska on a winter's night after a snowstorm, hyper-realistic. So let's kind of see what this art creator will do. Now, why are we talking about art creation? I mean, I understand this is an accounting firm and this is CPAs. Well, the answer to that question is, in many cases on your website, you are looking for some form of imagery. And if you're looking for imagery, the biggest issue is making sure that you are not taking images from the internet that you don't have the legal rights to. So in the world we live in today, one of the things that happens is, instead of having to guess, do I have the legal right to the image? Sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to create the image. Now, purportedly, keeping in mind, I'm not familiar with the Omaha, Nebraska skyline, but purportedly these are all images. Now, let's say, for example, that I want to take image number 4 and I want to upgrade that image because that's the one that I think I kind of like. So at this point in time, now here is the broader image that it gave me. Now, outside of that, we're going to go to another program, and it's called 11 Labs. Now, 11 Labs is really interesting because what it does is it is a voice replicator. Now, remember, we wrote something in ChatGPT that we took to Paraphraser that we corrected in Grammarly, and the paragraph read, "The merging of accounting with artificial intelligence is a game changer in the dynamic corporate landscape." On this first leg of our tour, let's look at how artificial intelligence changes how accounting firms provide advisory service and how numbers interact with neurons in a fascinating dance of data and decision making. Now, in this case, we're going to pick a voice. Now, when you look at this, you can see different types of voices, like Clyde, American war veteran, Daniel, British deep news presenter, Dorothy, British pleasant children's stories, Emily, American calm meditation, Ethan, American whisper ASMR. I'm not sure I know what that is. That's okay. I don't have to. But, you know, let's just think about some of these folks. Let's take Harry. So
friends show their love in times of trouble, not in happiness.
Okay, great. So Harry, actually, that was kind of a weird voice. Let's try somebody else. Patrick.
Our distrust is very expensive.
Okay, Thomas. We're going to choose Thomas. Thomas is supposedly calm. Now, here's what we're doing. We're going to generate what was written by AI, and then we're going to play Thomas purportedly reading this. 11 Labs takes your content and then can have it read by...
The merging of accounting with artificial intelligence, AI, is a game changer in the dynamic corporate landscape.
Okay, first thing, let me say, that guy would put you to sleep. But the point becomes, you can have any choice. Now, in my case, I'm going to use my voice, and we're going to generate this. And while it's generating, I read several chapters of my book several times to create a clone of my voice. So now you'll hear that. The merging of accounting with artificial intelligence, AI, is a game changer in the dynamic corporate landscape. On this first leg of our tour, let's look at how artificial intelligence changes how accounting firms provide advisory services and how numbers interact with neurons in a fascinating dance of data and decision making. Now, I've had people say, oh my gosh, wow, your voice can be replicated. Yes. Why would anybody do that? Well, in my case, I write books. So there are two ways I can create an audiobook. One is I can sit there with my iPad and I can read the book. But over time, considering that generally it takes 6.5, 7 hours or so, over time, I'm going to get lazy. I'm not going to pronounce my consonants. I'm going to mispronounce a word here and there. I'll have to stop and go back and fix and redo, etc. When I clone my voice, once I get it to a place that I'm comfortable, the replication of my voice. All I have to do is feed the content in to the speech synthesis or to 11 Labs, which is probably the best that's out there right now. And what is it going to do? It's going to read my book. There will be no lip smacks. There will be no P's. There'll be no pops. There'll be none of the things that are normal that take place with us from time to time. So it can be used for good and for bad. But in this particular case, for me, the ability to create audiobooks almost seamlessly is quite amazing. Now, there are other reasons you might do this, for example, for video purposes where the person is not actually seen. Now, let's move on to one other. There is a great program out there called Designer, Designrr. Designer is a wonderful way to create an ebook. Now, I know a number of people who have said, well, I want to write a book. Well, number one, with the help of AI, it's easier than ever to do that. But, and let me share this with you. I might have said this in the seminar, but this way you can actually see it. But the reality of it was, I decided at one point when I got a call, I got, in fact, 3 in 1 week from associations, and I do a lot of work with associations. But I got 3 calls in 1 week where someone at a senior level in the association had embezzled money. Now, that was not good news for those associations. And in fact, the reality of it was part of the issue with the association and the fact that there was embezzlement was in small organizations, we become comfortable with each other. We trust each other, and we tend to ignore internal controls. Those are meant for big companies, not necessarily for smaller enterprises, or at least that's what we think. So when I got that call, I decided, you know what? I need to write something about how to prevent fraud in small business. So I went to what's referred to as Word Genie. And in Word Genie, I came over and said, I want to write a book. And the title of the book was Preventing Fraud, a Practical Guide for Small Business Owners, the Small Business Owners Anti-Fraud Handbook. Now, I gave it the information that I wanted, what kind of organizations, how broad and expansive I wanted it to be, and then I turned it loose. And here's what it gave me back. This table of contents, which showed me defining fraud, common types, employee theft, vendor fraud, financial statement fraud, identifying particular risk, understanding red flags. It continues. Creating a policy, separation of duties, segregation of duties, controls, conducting regular fraud assessments, educating employees, key points, final thoughts. There's an appendix, there's a policy, there's a worksheet. I mean, it was amazing, including the references. When this was completed, and I'm going to promise you it took about 2.5 hours because it's fairly comprehensive, but the book was 102 pages long. And then it set about to go ahead and formulate the book, selecting the image approved and free pictures, and basically laid out the entire process. So I am literally sitting here with the exception of about the author and obviously inserting my picture, but with exceptions like that, the book functionally was written. Now, the question might be, well, what's the significance of that? Well, let me give you a practical application. Because I got those 3 calls in a week, I went into my email database, which is about 33,000 names, connecting with lots of associations. And I made the comment, I got 3 calls in a week that indicated there had been a fraud in an association. And so I wanted to provide, again, an opportunity for organizations to understand what can they do to prevent fraud. Now, when this book was completed, I literally hit a button. And when I hit the button, it instantly transmitted out to all places where ebooks are published, and that ebook exists. So I get all my books from iBooks. So if you went to iBooks and you search Gallagher, you're going to see that book there. But more important than that, I put it as a PDF on my website. So when I sent out the email offering the book for free, I got a 35% open rate, which is functionally unheard of, and close to 600 downloads of the book. Now, what people are going to do with it, I don't know. But what I do know is with the help of AI, I was able to create something quickly that I was able to review. By the way, I took it, I put it into Grammarly to check the grammar and check it for plagiarism. But functionally, I was able to create that. Now, as a side note, I own a video production company. So one of the things that I have done is I have begun the process of creating 2 other books in a similar fashion so that when organizations are considering how do I use video to grow my business, I have content for them. Now, we're going to take one more AI application, and it's called HeyGen. What HeyGen does is it allows you to create an avatar of yourself. So let's just quickly pull this up. This is a person's avatar.
Welcome to the new era of video creation with HeyGen. Simply type your script to get started.
Now, let me point out 2 things. Number one, you can use with HeyGen any avatar or any person that you want to deliver your content. Okay. So if you had content that you wanted to deliver and you wanted to make sure that it was delivered by, we'll say Vanessa in a dress, then Vanessa could deliver.
Welcome to the new
content.
era of video creation with HeyGen. Simply type your script to get started.
Okay,
Welcome to the new era of video creation.
That's not the point of this. It is interesting to do, but I went in and I recorded something very much like what you are seeing here. I took a script. Let me just slide this over on the page, expand it a little bit, but I took a simple script and I recorded it just like this is being recorded. I uploaded it into HeyGen, and then I said, I want you to have me speaking this in Japanese. So keep in mind, the recording is much like what you see here. Here is the outcome.
今日のケースに進化する技術の風景において、一つは明らかです。人工知能はここに存在しています。こんにちは、私はチャック・ギャラガーです。ビジネス論理の基調表現者であり、AI の論理的な営業に焦点を当てています。堅牢な AI 論理基準を作り出す方法について情熱を主愛で探求しています。論理的な AI への地位は AI の研究者、政策立案者、産業界のリーダーだけの責任ではない。私たち全員が関与する共通の取り組みだ。
As you see that, let me point out what AI did. I fed it the video of me speaking in English or fractured Southern, but I fed it in, it replicated my voice, it literally had me speaking exactly the same script, but instead of it being in English, it was spoken in Japanese. And if you look at it, it is very difficult. And owning a video production company, we look at this all the time, but it was very difficult to see challenges with the way the lips moved as I was now speaking in Japanese. Now, let me do this. Let me stop it at this point in time and say to you, I hope this might have been helpful. In addition to this, I am providing a page that you can see the types of AI that I was using. When I go into companies, which happens fairly regularly, but when I go into companies and we literally go deep, exploring how to use AI to grow your business, these are my go-to platforms. They will change over time because AI is rapidly changing. But I have used these. I'm comfortable with them. I'm comfortable with the output from them. The thing I will say is it's 2023. And if I can literally take something like you're seeing right here, feed it into HeyGen, and then have me speaking in Mandarin or Guatemalan Spanish or pick the language, then imagine where we'll be in 2025 or 2030. The world, look, AI, the genie's out of the bottle. So the question becomes, are we willing to embrace, learn, understand, and carry our clients along the path of learning? Or will we have our head stuck in the sand and be left behind? To me, where we are with AI is much like what happened with the automobile whenever we all used to saddle and bridle a horse. We rode horses. The automobile completely changed the landscape. AI is at the pinnacle of changing that landscape, and the speed at which it's happening is dramatic. So I hope this has been helpful. And I will say, if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I hope, because we had some technical challenges at the conference, that maybe this is beneficial to you. And again, happy to help with any questions. Thank you so much for the privilege of being there and from taking the time to look at this.